Where is my computer?
Hello.
I found it. Found my computer.
Girl. Hello.
Hello.
We are back with me and Kaylee on the phone because she keeps abandoning me. We're a few minutes later than we planned, but oh well. Say la
God
vie.
forbid a girl be well rested.
I got like 5 hours of sleep. You'll be fine.
I got about 6, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
10.
Anyways, we're finished. Oh, I've already can't speak.
It's already starting.
Shut up. We are finishing Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and then afterwards we're gonna have a little yap session where we talk about our January in book related, like how book things went in January. Excuse my language. It's early in the morning, and I stayed up till 2:30 last night reading this book. So we're ready to go. This is the final 5 chapters. Let's get this read. Chapter 26.
And it's me reading.
Yes, it's her reading because she left me.
I'm sorry. My eyes were very heavy.
I know.
Alright. Chapter 26. I sat in my cell staring at the wall. It wasn't a dingy jail cell or anything. If anything, it looked kind of like a college dorm room. Wow, thanks. Painted brick walls.
Says the young adults in the college dorm rooms.
Yes. Painted brick walls, a desk, chair, bed, in-suite bathroom, etc. But the door was steel and the windows were barred. I wasn't going anywhere. Why did the Baikonur launch facility have a jail cell handy? I don't know. Ask the Russians. That launch would be today. Soon, some muscular guard would come through the door along with a doctor. He'd inject me with something, and that'd be the last time I'd see Earth. Almost on cue, I hear the clink of the door being unlocked. A braver person might have seen an opportunity, charge the door, and maybe get past the guards. But I'd given up hope of escape long ago. What would I do? Run into the Kazakhstani desert and take my chances? The door opened, Strout walked in. The guards closed the door behind her. Hey, she said. I glared at her from my bunk.
Valid.
The launch is on schedule. She said, you'll be on your way soon. Whoopee. She sat in the chair. I know you won't believe this, but it wasn't easy for me to do this to you. Yeah, you're really sentimental. She ignored the barb. Do you know what I studied in college? What my undergraduate degree was in? I shrugged. History. I was a history major.
Dog.
She drummed her fingers on the desk. Most people assume I had a science major or business management. Communications, maybe. But no, it was history. Doesn't seem like you. I sat up on my bunk. You don't spend a lot of time looking backward. I was 18 years old, and I had no idea what to do with my life. I majored in history because I didn't know what else to do. She smirked. Hard to imagine you like that, eh? Yeah. She looked out the barred window toward the launch pad in the distance. But I learned a lot. I actually liked it. People nowadays, they have no idea how good they have it. The past was unrelenting misery for most people, and the further back in time you go, the worse it was. She stood and meandered around the room. 50,000 years, right up to the Industrial Revolution, human civilization was about one thing only: food. Every culture that existed put most of their time, energy, manpower, and resources into food. Hunting it, gathering it, farming it, ranching it, storing it, distributing it. It was all about food. Even the Roman Empire. Everyone knows about the emperors, the armies, and the conquests. But what the Romans really invented was a very efficient system of acquiring farmland and transportation of food and water. She walked to the other side of the room. The Industrial Revolution mechanized agriculture. Since then, we've been able to focus our energies on other things, but that's only been the last 200 years. Before that, most people spent most of their lives directly dealing with food production. Thanks for the history lesson, I say. But if it's all the same to you, I'd like my last few moments on Earth to be a little more pleasant. So, could you leave? She ignored me. Leclerc's Antarctica nukes bought us some time, but not much. And there's only so many times we can dump chunks of Antarctica in the ocean before the direct problems of sea level rise and ocean biome death cause more problems than astrophage. Remember what Leclerc told us? Half the global population will die. I know, I muttered. No, you don't know, she said, because it gets a lot worse. Worse than half of humanity dying? Of course, she says. Leclerc's estimate assumed all of the nations of the world work together to share resources and ration food. But do you think that will happen? Do you think the United States, the most powerful military force of all time, is going to sit idly by while half their population starves? How about China, a nation of 1.3 billion people that's always on the verge of famines in the best of times? Do you think they'll just leave their militarily weak neighbors alone? I shook my head. There'll be wars. Yes, there'll be wars. Fought for the same reason most wars in ancient times were fought for: food. They'd use religion or glory or whatever as an excuse, but it was always about food, farmlands, and people to work that land. But the fun doesn't stop there, she said, because once the desperate, starving countries start invading each other for food, the food production will go down. Ever heard of the Taiping Rebellion? It was a civil war in China during the 19th century. 400,000 soldiers died in combat, and 20 million people died from the resulting famine. The war disrupted agriculture, see? That's how massive in scale these things are. She wrapped her arms around herself. I'd never seen her look so vulnerable. Malnourishment, disruption, famine, every aspect of infrastructure going to feed production and warfare. The entire fabric of society will fall apart. There'll be plagues too, lots of them, all over the world. Because the medical care systems will be overwhelmed. Once easily contained outbreaks will go unchecked. She turned to face me. War, famine, pestilence, and death. Oh my goodness. 4 horsemen.
Oh my gosh, it's literally the 4 horsemen.
It's the 4 horsemen. War, famine, pestilence, and death. Astrophage is literally the apocalypse. The Hail Mary is all we have now. I'll make any sacrifice to give it even the tiniest additional chance of success. I lay down in my bunk and faced away from her, whatever lets you sleep at night. She walked back to the door and knocked on it. The guard opened it. A guard opened it up. Anyway, I just wanted you to know why I'm doing this. I owed you that. Go to hell. Oh, I will, believe me. You 3 are going to Tau Ceti. The rest of us are going to hell. More accurately, hell is coming to us. Ooh, violent. Yeah, well, hell's coming back to you, Strahd, in the form of me. I'm hell.
He had his little angsty moment.
He's in his villain arc, and we're loving it.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what I'll say to her, but I definitely plan to say stuff. Mean stuff. I'm 18 days into my nearly 4-year journey. I'm just now reaching Tau Ceti's Heliopause?
Yeah.
Heliopause? The edge of the star's powerful magnetic field. At least the edge of where it's strong enough to deflect fast-moving interstellar radiation. From now on, the radiation load on the hull will be much higher. Doesn't matter to me. I'm surrounded by astrophage, but it's interesting to see the external radiation sensors go up and up and up. It's progress, at least. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm on a long road trip, and my current status is just walking out the front door of the house. I'm bored. I'm by myself in a spaceship without much to do. I clean and catalog the lab again. Might come up with some research experiments for either astrophage or Talmuba. Heck, I could write some papers while I'm on my way home. Oh, and there's the matter of the intelligent alien life form I hung out with for a couple months. I might want to jot a few things down about him, too. I do have a huge collection of video games. I have every piece of software that was available when we built the ship. I'm sure they can keep me busy for a while.
Bro just starts playing Stardew Valley to keep himself company on the ship.
He starts playing his Minesweeper. A little bit of Tetris here and there.
Yeah.
I check the Talmuba forums. All 10 of them are doing just fine. I feed them astrophage from time to time just to keep them healthy and breeding. The farms emulate Venus's atmosphere, so as the generations of the Talmuba go by, they'll get even better at
Venusian life? Yes.
I don't know, life on Venus. After 4 years of this, and by the time I drop them off at the planet, they'll be well suited for it. And yes, I've already decided I'll drop them off. Why not? I have no idea what kind of world I'll be returning to. 13 years have passed on Earth since I left, and they'll experience another 13 before I get back. 26 years. All my students will be adults. I hope they all survive. But I have to admit, some probably won't. I try not to dwell. Anyway, once I get back to my solar system, I may as well swing by Venus and drop off the Talmy, but he's saying it like he's like running errands.
I know. He's casually saving the world. Casually saving his entire solar system.
He's like, I'll drop this off and I'll go pick this up. Not sure how I'll seed it, but I have a few ideas. The simplest is to just excuse me. The simplest is just wad up a ball of Talmy infested astrophage and throw it at Venus. The astrophage will absorb the heat of re-entry, and the Talmy will be released into the wild. Then we'll have a field day. Venus must be astrophage central by now, and Lord knows Talmy can get right to work once they find their prey. Check my food stores. I'm still on schedule. I have another 3 months of real edible food packs left, and then it'll be coma slurry from then on. Oh my goodness. I'm getting water. I woke up not that long ago, so my vocal cords are not used to this yet. I'm reluctant to go back into a coma. I've got the genes to survive it, but so did Yao and Ilyikina. Why risk death if I don't have to? Also, I can't be 100% sure I correctly reprogrammed the course navigation. I think it's right. Whenever I spot check, I'm still on course toward home. But what if something goes wrong while I'm in the coma? And what if I wake up and miss the solar system by a light year? But between isolation, loneliness, and disgusting food, I'll be willing to take those risks eventually. We'll see. Speaking of loneliness, my thoughts turn back to Rocky. My only friend now. Seriously, he's my only friend. I didn't have much of a social life back when things were normal. Sometimes I'd crave dinner with my faculty and staff at the school. And I'd have the occasional Saturday night beer with old college friends. But thanks to time dilation, when I get home, all those folks will be a generation older than me. I like Dimitri. He's probably my favorite of the whole Hail Mary gang. But who knows what he's up to now? Heck, Russia and the United States may be at war, or they may be allies in a war. I have no idea. I climb the ladder to the control room. I sit in the pilot's seat. I bring up the nav panel. I really shouldn't do this, and it's become a bit of a ritual. I shut off the spin drives and coast. Gravity immediately disappears, but I hardly notice. I'm used to it. With the spin drives off, I can safely use the petroscope. I scan around for a bit. I know where to look. I quickly find it. The little dot of petrol frequency light, the Blip 8 engines. If I were within 100 kilometers of that light, my entire ship would be vaporized. I'm on one side of the system, he's on the other. Heck, even Tassetti itself just looks like a light bulb from a distance. But I can still clearly make out Blip 8's engine flares. Using light as a propellant releases a simply absurd amount of power. Maybe that's something I could use in the future. Maybe Earth and air could communicate with massive release of light thanks to astrophage. I wonder how much it would take to make a flash visible from 40 Eridani. I could talk in Morse code or something. They have a copy of Wikipedia now. They'd work out what we're up to when they saw the flashes. Still, our conversation would be slow. 40 Eridani is 16 light years away from Earth. So if we send a message like, hey, how are you doing? It would be 32 years before we got their reply. That is a long time to be left on red.
That is a horribly long time to be left on red.
I stare at the little point of light on the screen and sigh. I'll be able to track him for quite a while. I know where his ship will be at any given moment. He'll use the exact flight plan I gave him. He trusts my science as much as I trust his engineering. After a few months, the petroscope won't be able to see the light anymore. Not because the light is too dim. It's a very sensitive instrument. It won't be able to see him because the relative velocities will cause a red shift in the light coming off his drives. It won't be the Petrova wavelength anymore when it gets to me. What? Do I do a ridiculous amount of relativistic math to calculate our relative velocity at any given moment as perceived by my inertial reference frame? And then do Lorentz transformations to figure out when the light from his engines will drop out of the Petroscope's perception range, just so I know how much longer I can see my friend in the distance. Wouldn't that be kind of pathetic? Yeah. Okay, my sad little daily ritual was over. I turn off the petroscope and fire up the spin drives again.
Bro just wants his friend back.
He's having separation anxiety. Leave him alone.
He is.
I check my dwindling supply of real food. I've been on the road for 32 days now. According to my calculations, 51 days from now, I'll be completely reliant on coma slurry.
Including to my calculations. I'm sorry, I had to.
It's just the nerd emoji.
I dropped my phone again. Girl, I'd be trying to get comfortable, and then my foot just like knocks the phone, and you go flying
to the ground.
Yep. All right.
Computer, provide coma food substance sample. The mechanical arms reach into their supply area and come back with a bag of white powder and drop it onto the bunk. I pick up the bag. Of course, it's a powder. Why would they include the liquid in the long-term storage? The water system of the Hail Mary is a closed loop. Water goes into me, it comes out of me in various ways, and then it's purified and reused.
Oh.
I don't know how I like that.
Oh.
And I feel a little uncomfortable now.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Remind me to never go into a coma.
Mm-hmm. I take the package to the lab, open it up, and pour some powder in the beaker. I add a little water, give it a stir, and it becomes a milky white slurry. I give it a sniff. It doesn't really smell like anything, so I take a sip. It takes effort, but I resist the urge to spit it out. It tastes like aspirin. A nasty pill-like taste. I'm going to have to eat this bitter pill chow every meal for several years. Maybe a coma isn't that bad. I set the beaker aside. I'll deal with that misery when the time comes. For now, I'm going to work on the beetles. I have 4 little Talmuba farms, courtesy of Rocky. Each one is a steel-ish capsule, no larger than my hand. I say steel-ish because it's some iridium alloy of steel that humans haven't invented yet. It's much harder than any metal alloys we have, but not harder than diamond cutting tools. I went back and forth in the mini farm casing. The obvious first choice was to make it out of xenonite. The problem is, how could Earth scientists get in? None of our tools would be able to cut it. The only option would be extremely high heat, and that risks harming the Talmuba inside. I suggested a xenonite container with a lid, something that could be clamped down tight like a pressure door. I'd leave instructions on the USB stick of how to safely open it. Rocky rejected the idea right away. No matter how good the steel was, it wouldn't be perfect. Over the 2 years that the farm will experience during the trip, enough air could leak out to suffocate the Talmuba inside. He insisted the whole farm be a single, completely sealed container. Probably a good idea. So we settled on iridium steel. It's strong, it doesn't oxidize easily, and it's extremely durable. Earth can cut it open with a diamond saw. And hey, they'll probably analyze it to learn how to make their own. Everyone wins. Its approach to the farms themselves were simple. Inside, there's an active colony of Talmuba and Venus-like atmosphere. Also, there's a coil of very thin, steel-ish tubing for astrophage. Sorry, I just heard Scout howl at my dad. The Talmuba can only get in the outermost layer, or get at the outer. Oh my goodness. The Talmuba can only get at the outermost layer, so they have to work their way down to the tube, which is a total length of about 20 meters. Some basic experimentation tells us that it will last a small Talmuba population several years. As for waste products, they'll just stew in their own poop. The capsule will gain methane and lose carbon dioxide over time, it doesn't matter. Though it's a small volume by human standards, it's a vast, gigantic cavern and the tiny microbes inside, or 4 tiny microbes inside. The beetles have a priority. Can I actually understand words? The beetles have a priority for me. I want them ready for launch at the moment's notice. Just in case there's a catastrophic problem with the Hail Mary, I don't want to send them off if there isn't a mission critical problem. The closer we are to Earth when they launch, the better their odds of making it there safely. In addition to installing the mini farms, we also have to refuel the little buggers. I used almost half their fuel supply when they served as ad hoc engines for the Hail Mary. but they only need 60 kilograms of astrophage each to be full. Barely a drop in the bucket compared to my supply of imported iridium-made astrophage. The hardest part is opening the beetle's little fuel bay. Like everything else around there, it wasn't intended for reuse. Just like adding fresh butane to a Bic lighter. Butane?
Yeah.
Okay, to a Bic lighter. It's just not meant for that. It's completely sealed. I have to clamp it into the mill and use 6mm bit to get in. It's a whole big thing, but I'm getting good at it. I finished John and Paul yesterday. Today I'm working on Ringo, and time permitting, George. George would be the easiest. I don't need to refuel him. I never used him as an engine. I just have to attach the mini farm. Figuring out where to put the mini farm is another matter. Even with its small size, it's too big to fit inside the little probe, so I epoxy it to the undercarriage. Then I spot weld a small counterweight to the top of the Beetle. The computer inside has very strong opinions about where the center of mass of the probe is. It's easier to add a counterweight than completely reprogram the guidance system, which brings us to the matter of weight. The additional weight of the farm makes the Beetles weigh a kilogram more than they should. It's okay. I remember countless meetings with Steve Hatch discussing the design. He's a weird little guy, but he's a heck of a rocket scientist. The Beetles know their location in space by looking at the stars. If they have less fuel than they expected to have, they taper their acceleration down as needed. In short, they'll get home. It'll just take a little longer. I ran the numbers, and it's trivial difference in Earth time. Though the Beetles will experience several additional months during the trip than the original plan. I go to the supply cabinet and pull out the BOCOA, big old container of astrophage. It's a light-proof metal bin with wheels. There's several hundred kilograms of astrophage in there, and I'm at 1.5 G's of gravity. That's why I added the wheels. You'd be amazed what you can do with a machine shop and a firm desire to not drag heavy stuff around. I hold the handle with a towel because it's hot. I wheel it over to the lab table, settle into the chair, and get ready for the methodical refueling process. I get the plastic syringe at the ready. With it, I can squirt 100 milliliters of astrophage into the 6mm hole per shot. It's about 600 grams. All told, I have to do it about 200 times per beetle. I open the BOCOA and, I wince and draw away from the container. It smells horrible. I say, why does it smell like that? And then it hits me. I know that smell. It's the smell of dead, rotting astrophage. The Tommy are loose again.
Brother, can this guy catch a break? Please? Can this dude just go home?
Have one thing go right. One. That is all I ask. One.
At this point, the only thing that's gone well is the fact that he made a friend.
Exactly. Rocky's the only thing that's gone well.
This entire time.
Oh my goodness, chapter 27 is like 2 pages.
I know. I think this is like the shortest chapter in the book.
Oh, 100% it is. Okay, chapter 27. I leave from the stool. I don't have a plan. Okay, don't panic. I tell myself, think clearly, then act. The BOCOA is still
I would just
hot.
say BOCOA.
BOCOA?
Yeah. It's easier than saying BOCOA.
Okay. The BOCOA is still hot. That means there's a lot of living... oh my goodness. That means there's a lot of living astrophage still in there. I caught it early. That's good. But because of the BOCOA, it's toast. I'll never be able to sort out the Talmuba from the astrophage in there. But it means that however the heck Talmuba got in, this is very recent and hopefully hasn't reached the ship's fuel. Yes, that's priority number 1. Don't let Talmuba in the fuel phase. Last time they got in was because of various microscopic leaks in the system. But it had to have gotten there from the crew compartments, where I brought it aboard. There isn't much overlap between the fuel system and the crew compartment. There's just one place that's likely culprit for transfer, life support. If the ship is too cold, it runs air across coils filled with astrophage to warm it up. A breach in one of those coils would do it. Lucky for me, I've had a big pile of 96 degrees Celsius astrophage in the lab keeping the crew compartment so warm the ship has used the air conditioning system. Okay, now I have a plan. I scamper up the ladder to the control room. I bring up the life support panel and look at the logs. I suspected the heater hasn't been turned on in over a month. I deactivate the heater entirely. It shows it's disabled, but I don't trust it. I go to the primary breaker box. It's under the pilot seat. I find the breaker for the heating system and flick it off. Okay, I say. I get back in the seat, check the fuel panel. The fuel bays all seem to be in good shape. The temperature is correct. It wouldn't take long for Tamiba to run wild and eat everything in the fuel bay. I know that for darn certain. If they were affected, they'd be colder than that. I bring up the sped drive controls and shut the engines off. The floor drops out from under me as I return to weightlessness. I probably don't need to shut them off, but for now, I don't want the fuel doing anything. If there's Tamiba in the fuel line, I want it to stay there and not get pumped all over the ship. Okay, I say again. Okay. More thinking. How did it get loose? I sterilized every part of the ship with nitrogen before getting a grand rash of H from Rocky. The only Tamiba aboard are in the sealed mini farms on the Beetles and the sealed Xenonite breeder tanks. No time for science questions. I can speculate on the cause later. Right now, I have an engineering problem. I wish Rocky were here. I always wish Rocky were here.
Aww.
Nitrogen. I say, oh, I miss Rocky. I don't know how the Tamiba got out, but I need them dead. Tamiba 82.5 can handle 8.25% nitrogen at a 0.02 atmosphere, maybe a little higher, but definitely can't handle 100% nitrogen at the crew compartment's 0.33 atmospheres. That works out to be 200 times the lethal dose of nitrogen. I float to the breaker box and shut off everything, limited to life support. Immediately the emergency alarm sounds and my lights turn on. I kick across the control room to the emergency system breaker box and shut those all off as well. The master alarm is annoying, so I silence it once on the main interface panel. I fly down to the lab and throw open my gas cylinder supply cupboard. I have about 10 kilograms of nitrogen gas in a simple canister. Again, I owe my life to Dubois' preferred method of suicide. I don't remember all the details about the life support system, but I know it's a manual overpressure valve. The ship simply will not allow more than 0.33 atmospheres. If all else fails, which it will because I shut the emergency systems down, it'll prevent excess pressure in the space. I can't just release the nitrogen and hope for the best. I want to get rid of the existing oxygen first. I'm through messing around with this stuff. I want 100% nitrogen in here. I want to make this ship so utterly toxic to Tamiba that it has no chance of survival. Even if it's hiding under some goop somewhere, I want the nitrogen to
suffuse?
Suffuse? I guess. Suffuse through it. Nitrogen everywhere. Everywhere. I grab the nitrogen cylinder, kick it off the floor, and float back up to the control room. I throw open the airlock inner door and get into the Orlon suit faster than I ever have in the past. I boot everything up and don't even bother with the self-check. No time. I don't like that. I leave the inner airlock door open and turn the manual emergency valve to the outer door. The ship's air hisses away into space. Primary and emergency life support systems are powered down. They're unable to replace the lost gas. Now I wait. It takes a surprisingly long time for the ship to lose all its air. In movies, if there's a little breach, everyone dies immediately. Or the muscular hero guy plugs the hole with his bicep or something. But in real life, the air doesn't move that fast. The emergency valve on the airlock is 4 centimeters across. Feels like a pretty big hole to have in your spaceship, right? It took 20 minutes for the ship's air pressure to drop to 10% of its original value, and it's dropping very slow now. I think it's a logarithmic function. So in the middle of this emergency, I just have to stand here with my tank in my hand. Okay, 10% is close enough. I say. I close the airlock emergency valve to reseal the ship. When I open the nitrogen tank For now, instead of listening to the hiss of the airlock, I listen to the hiss from the nitrogen tank. Not much difference here. Or not much difference there. Again, it's a bit of a wait, but not as long as time. Probably because the pressure inside that nitrogen tank was a lot higher than the pressure of the ship. Whatever. Point is, in short order, the ship is back to 0.33 atmospheres of pressure. But it's almost entirely nitrogen. Funny thing, I'd be perfectly comfortable if I took this EVA suit off. I'd breathe without any problems. Right up until I died. There's nowhere near enough oxygen for me to survive. I want that nitrogen to permeate everything if it can. I want it to get into every crevice. Wherever Tamiba are lurking, I want them found and killed. Go forth, my N2 minions, and cause destruction. I head down to the lab and check on the Balcoa. I left in such a hurry I forgot to seal the vat. Fortunately, Astrophage is gunky stuff. Surface tension and air should keep it inside. I close the lid and bring it up to the airlock. I jettisoned the whole thing. I probably could have saved the surviving astrophage in the vat. I could have bubbled nitrogen through the sludge to make sure it gets at all little tummy lurking inside, before I take the chance. I have over 2 million kilograms of astrophage. There's no point in risking the whole mission just to save a few hundred. I almost said I wait 300. I wait 3 hours. Then I put the breakers back on. After a period of initial panic, the life support system gets the air back to normal thanks to the ship's copious oxygen reserves. I have to isolate every source of Talmiba on this ship, preferably before the life support system finishes pumping out the nitrogen. We're not doing it before getting back to normal air because it'll be a lot easier and faster without wearing the EVA suit. I need my hands to do this. On my hands with my bulky gloves. I climb out of the Orlan and fly down to the lab, nitrogen cylinder in hand. First up, the breeder farms. I put each of the 10 farms in a large plastic bins. I install a little valve on each bin. Epoxy can do anything. And pump in nitrogen. If any of the farms have a leak, the nitrogen will get in and kill everything. Any farm that's behaving properly, keeping airtight, won't have any problems. The bins are airtight to begin with, but I seal them with duct tape anyway. I deliberately overpressurize them just a little bit. The sides and tops bulge out. Now, if any of the farms leak, it'll be visually apparent because the bulging will disappear. Next up, the beetles and their mini farms. John and Paul already have their mini farms installed. I put them in isolation bins just like I did with the breeder farms. I was working on Lingo when the poop hit the fan. So that mini farm and the one intended for George are still uninstalled. I put the pair together in another isolation bin. I tape everything to the walls. I don't want any of the bins to float around. They might bump into something sharp. The lab is in shambles. I was halfway through disassembling Ringo when I shut off the spin drives. Tools, beetle parts, and all manner of other junk floats around the room. I'll have to clean all that up without the aid of gravity before I can even take a break. Well, this sucks, I mumble. This poor guy is just going through it.
Bro's not having a good time. Just let this man go home. We're like 3 chapters away from him going home. Guys, let's give him a break.
He just wants to go, like, rip Strat a new one.
Exactly. Let him do that.
Let him go tell off his supervisor. All right. How long are you?
It's like 5 pages.
Okay, it's not bad at all. All right, chapter 28. It's been 3 days since the great Talmiba escape. I've taken no chances. I manually shut off all the fuel bays, completely segregating each one from the fuel system. Then, one tank at a time, I opened it, collected an astrophage sample from the line, and checked it in the microscope for Talmiba contamination. Thankfully, all 9 tanks passed the test. I bought the spin drives back online, and I'm cruising along at 1.5 G again. I cobbled together a Talmiba alarm to alert me if this happens again. I should have done this in the first place, but hindsight is 20/20. It's a slide of astrophage, same as I used in the Talmiba farms. When a light on one side of the light sensor. What? The light on one side of the light sensor. I'm gonna try that one more time. With a light on one side and a light sensor on the other. The whole system is exposed to the open air of the lab. A Talmiba get a hold of that astrophage, they'll eat it, and the slide will turn clear. And the light sensor will start beeping. So far, no beeping. Slide remains jet black. Other things have calmed down and the problem is contained. I can start asking the $1 million question. How did the Talmiba get loose? I put my hands on my hips and stare at the quarantine zone. Which one of you did this? I say. He's like a mother.
Truly a disappointed mom.
Which one of you did this? None of it makes sense. The farms worked for months without any hint of a leak. The mini farms are hermetically sealed steel capsules. Maybe some rogue Talmiba was lurking in the ship since the last outbreak, back in Adrian. Somehow, it didn't find any astrophages until just now. No, from our experiments, Rocky and I learned that Talmiba can only last about a week without food before it starves to death. And they're not big on moderation. Either they wildly breed and consume all astrophage to be found, or they aren't present at all. One of these containers must be leaking. I can't just jettison everything. I need these Talmibas to save Earth. So what do? I had to figure out which one is the problem. I check each farm as best I can. Since they're in bins, I can't operate any of the controls, but I don't need to. They're fully automated. It's a pretty simple system. Rocky tends to find elegant solutions to complex problems. The farm monitors the air temperature inside. If it drops below 96.415 degrees Celsius, it means there's no more astrophage because the Tamiba ate it. So it pumps in a little more astrophage. Simple as that. The system keeps track of how often it has to feed them. From that, it makes very rough approximation of the Tamiba population inside. It adjusts the astrophage feed right as needed to control the population and, of course, has to read out to tell us the current state. I check each farm's readouts. Each one shows 96.415 degrees Celsius with a population estimate of 10 billion, not billion, estimated 10 million Tamiba, exactly what they're supposed to read. I say. The air pressure inside those farms is way lower than the nitrogen pressure surrounding them. If any of those farms had a leak, the nitrogen would get in, and pretty soon the Tamiba would all die. They haven't, and it's been 3 days. The breeder farms aren't leaking. It must be the mini farms. But how the heck does a microbe work its way through half a centimeter of iridium steel? Rocky knows what he's doing, and he knows all about iridium steel. If it wasn't good for holding microbes in place, he'd know. They don't have Tamiba on Arid. They definitely have other microbes. This isn't new to them. All of this leads me to something I would normally consider impossible. Rocky made an engineering mistake. He never makes mistakes. Not when it comes to creating things. He's one of the most talented engineers on this entire planet. He couldn't have messed up. Could he? I need definitive proof. I need more astrophage test slides. They're super handy for Tamiba detection and easy to make. I start with the bin containing the 2 mini farms, and one intended for George and Ringo, or the ones intended for George and Ringo. I can read, I swear. They certainly seem sealed. They're those capsule-shaped pieces of metal. All sorts of stuff going on inside, but smooth iridium steel on the outside. I put the duct tape off one corner of the box, pry out the lid, and throw an astrophage slide in. Then reseal everything. Experiment number 1. Make sure I didn't accidentally breed up some super Tamiba that can live in pure nitrogen. Another fun fact I've learned, once Tamiba get a hold of an astrophage slide, it'll be crystal clear in a couple hours. So I wait a couple hours, and the slide's still black. Okay, good. No super Tamiba. I unseal the bin, open the lid, and let air out for a minute. Then I reseal it. Nitrogen content in there will be nominal now. Way less than Tamiba 82.5 needs to worry about. If there's a leak in those mini farms, slide will tell the tale. 1 hour, no results. 2 hours, no results. I'll take a sample of the air inside the bin just to be sure. The nitrogen level is nearly 0, so that's not an issue. I seal it up again and give it another hour. Nothing. The mini farms aren't leaking. At least the ones intended for George and Ringo aren't. Maybe the leak was in one of the mini farms I'd already installed. They're just glued to the outsides of John and Paul. They're not protected by the Beatles' hull or anything. I repeat the Tamiba dissection experiment with John and Paul's fins. I get the same result. No Tamiba at all. Okay, time for the ultimate test. I remove John, Paul, and the 2 uninstalled mini farms from quarantine. Set them on the lab table next to my Tamiba alarm. I'm pretty sure they're clean, but if they aren't, I want to know right away. Turn my attention to the even less likely culprits, the breeder farms. If Tamiba can't escape radiant steel, they definitely can't get through xenonite. 1 centimeter of that stuff can effortlessly hold in Rocky's 29 atmospheres of pressure. It's harder than diamond and also somehow not brittle, but I need to be thorough. I repeat the astrophage slide test with all 10 of the breeder farm bins. There's no point in doing them one at a time. I pipeline the whole process. Now all 10 of the farms are in sealed bins full of normal air and have an astrophage slide inside. It's been a long day. It's a good time to take a break and sleep. I leave them overnight and see what happens. I bring bedding up from the dormitory to the lab. If my Tamiba detector alarm goes off, I want to be darn sure it wakes me up. I'm too pooped to work up a louder solution, so I'll just bring my ears closer to the lab table and call it a night. I drift off to sleep. It feels wrong to sleep without someone watching. Oh.
That's so sad.
This is so devastating.
Sad.
It's like, this really is so sad. To say goodbye to his best friend.
Green.
I wake up about 6 hours later. Coffee. But the nanny arms are downstairs in the dormitory, so of course I get no response. Oh, right. I sit up and stretch. I get up and shuffle over to the quarantine zone. Let's see how these Tommy farm tests are doing. I check the first farm's astrophage slide. It's completely clear. So I move on to the next. Wait, it's clear.
Oh.
Oh. I'm still not 100% awake. I wipe my eyes, take another look. It's still clear. Tommy got on the slide and out of the breeder farm. I spin the Tommy alarm on the lab table. It's not beeping, but I run over to get a visual. The astrophage slide and it's still black. Take a deep breath and let it out. Okay, I say. I turn to the quarantine zone and check the other farms. Every single one of them has a clear slide. The farms are leaking. All of them are leaking. The mini farms are fine. They're sitting on the table. They're sitting on the lab table right next to the Tommy alarm, out of the back of my neck. I found the problem, but I don't understand it. Tommy are going out of the farms, but how? If there was a crack in the xenonite, the overpressure of nitrogen would have gotten inside and killed everything. All 10 farms have happy, healthy Tommy populations, so what gives? Climb out of the dormitory and have breakfast. I stare at the xenonite wall that once housed Rocky's workshop. The wall is still there, but with a hole cut in it where I requested. I'm using the area mainly for storage. I chew on a breakfast burrito, trying to ignore the fact that I'm one meal closer to a coma slurry. I stare at the hole. I imagine I'm a town leader. I'm millions of times larger than a nitrogen atom, but I can get through a hole the nitrogen atom can't. How? And where did the hole come from? I'm starting to get a bad feeling, a suspicion really. What if Tommy can, for lack of better description, work their way around the molecules of xenonite? What if there is no hole at all? We tend to think of solid materials as magical barriers, but at the molecular scale, they're not. They're strands of molecules or lattices of atoms, they're strands of molecules or lattices of atoms, or both. When you get down to the teeny tiny realm, solid objects are more like thick jungles than brick walls. I can work my way through the jungle, no problem. I might have to climb over bushes, weave around trees, and duck under branches, but I can make it. Imagine 1,000 tennis ball launchers at the edge of that jungle aimed in random directions. How deep does the jungle and tennis ball get? Most of them won't get past the first few trees. Some may get lucky bounces and go a little deeper in. Fewer still may get multiple lucky bounces, but pretty soon, even the luckiest tennis ball runs out of energy. You'd be hard-pressed to find any tennis balls 50 feet in that jungle. Now let's say it's a mile wide. I can make it to the other side, but there's just no chance the tennis ball can. That's the difference between Tommy and nitrogen. The nitrogen is just moving in a line and bouncing off stuff like tennis ball. It's inert. The Talmiba is like me. It has stimulus response capabilities. It senses its environment and takes directed action based on what's on that sensory input. We already know it can find astrophage and move toward it. Definitely has senses, but nitrogen atoms are ruled by entropy. I don't know. They won't exert effort to do anything. I can walk uphill, but a tennis ball can only roll so far before it rolls back down. That all seems really weird. How could Talmiba from the planet Adrian know how to carefully navigate its way through xenonite? Technological invention from the planet Arid. It doesn't make sense. Life forms don't evolve traits for no reason. Talmiba lives in the upper atmosphere. Why would it develop the ability to work its way through dense molecular structures? What evolutionary reason could there be to... I dropped my burrito. I know the answer. I don't want to admit it to myself, but I know the answer.
Dog, I want a breakfast burrito.
I know. I'm like...
Every single time he talks about a breakfast burrito, I'm like, that sounds delicious right now.
Right, 2 pages. I'm going to see you, girl. I go back to the lab and perform a nerve-wracking experiment. The experiment itself wasn't nerve-wracking. I'm just worried about what the results will be. But the results will be what I expect. I also have Rocky's astro torch. It's the only thing on the ship that can get hot enough to dissociate xenonite. There's plenty of xenonite to be had throughout the ship, thanks to Rocky's tunnel system. I cut to the dormitory divider wall. I can only cut a little bit at a time, then I have to wait for life support to cool things back down. The astro torch makes a lot of heat. In the end, I have 4 rough circles, each a couple of inches across, yes, inches. When I'm stressing out, I revert to imperial units. It's hard to be an American, okay? I take them to the lab and put them together in an experiment. I smooth some astrophage on one of the circles and put another circle on top of it. Astrophage sandwich. Delicious, but only if you can get through the xenonite bread. I epoxy the two halves together, make another identical sandwich. And then I make another 2 similar sandwiches. But instead of xenonite, I use ordinary plastic discs that I cut from some mill stock. Okay, 4 hermetically sealed astrophage samples. 2 xenonite discs, 2 plastic discs. All 4 of them sealed with epoxy. I get 2 clear, sealable containers to set them up in the lab. I put a xenonite sandwich and a plastic. Oh my goodness! I put a xenonite sandwich and a plastic sandwich in each container. In the sample cabinet, I have a few metal vials full of natural Talmiba, the original stuff from Adrian, not the Talmiba 82.5 version. I set the vial in one of the containers, open it up, and quickly sealed the experiment. This is a very dangerous road to go down, but at least I know how to contain a Talmiba outbreak if it happens. As long as I have nitrogen, I'm okay. I go to breeder tank 1 in the quarantine zone. Use a syringe to get the Talmiba infected air from the bin, but immediately flood the bin with nitrogen. Paper over the hole made by the syringe. Back at the lab table, I close up the other container and use the syringe to inject the Talmiba 82.5 in. Again, I seal that hole with tape. I rest my chin on my hands and peer into the 2 boxes. Okay, you sneaky little punks. Let's see what you can do. It takes a couple of hours, but I finally see results. They're exactly what I expected and the opposite of what I'd hoped. I shake my head. Dang it. The xenonite-covered astrophage in the Talmiba 82.5 experiment is gone. The plastic-covered astrophage remains unchanged. Meanwhile, in the other experiment, both astrophage samples are unharmed. That's what that means. The control samples, the plastic discs, prove Talmiba can't get through epoxy or plastic, but the xenonite samples tell a different story. Talmiba 82.5 can work its way through xenonite, but natural Talmiba can't. I'm so stupid. I slapped myself in the head. I thought I was so clever. All that time in the breeder tanks, generation after generation of Talmiba, I used evolution to my advantage, right? I made Talmiba with nitrogen resistance. I'm so awesome. Let me know when I can pick up my Nobel Prize. Ugh. Yes, I made a strain of Talmiba that could store nitrogen, but evolution doesn't care what I want. Ah, my bookmark fell. Hit me in the face. Where was I? Okay. But evolution doesn't care what I want. And it doesn't just do one thing at a time. I bred up a bunch of Talmiba that evolved to survive in xenonite breeder tanks. Sure, it has nitrogen resistance. Evolution is a sneaky way of working on a problem from every angle. So not only did they gain resistance to nitrogen, they figured out how to hide from nitrogen by sinking into xenonite itself. Why wouldn't they? Xenonite is a complicated chain of proteins and chemicals I have no hope of understanding. I guess Talmiba has a way to worm its way in. There's a nitrogen apocalypse going on in the breeder farm. If you can get into the xenonite walls deep enough that the nitrogen can't reach, you get to survive. Talmiba can't get through ordinary plastic. It can't get through epoxy resin. It can't get through glass. It can't get through metal. I'm not even sure it can get through a Ziploc bag, but thanks to me, Talmiba 82.5 can get through xenonite. I took a life form I knew nothing about and used technology I didn't understand to modify it. Of course, there were unintended consequences. It was stupidly arrogant for me to assume I could predict anything or everything. I took a deep breath and let it out. Okay, this isn't the end of the world. In fact, it's the opposite. This Talmiba can permeate xenonite. No problem. I'll store it in something else. Some nitrogen resistant. It doesn't need xenonite to survive. I tested it thoroughly in my glass lab equipment back when we were first isolated the strain. It'll still do its thing on Venus and 3World. Everything's fine. I glanced back at the breeder farms. Yeah, fine. I'll make a big farm out of metal. It's not hard. I have a mill and all raw materials I need. And God knows I have time to spare. I'll salvage the operational equipment from the farm Rocky's made. Only the casing is xenonite. Everything else is metals and stuff. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I just need to put it in a different car. Yeah, I reassure myself. Hey, this is okay. I just need to make a box that can maintain a Venusian atmosphere. All of the hard stuff is already done, thanks to Rocky. Rocky, I feel a sudden urge of nausea. I have to sit on the floor and put my head between my legs. Rocky has the same strain of Talmiba aboard his ship. It stores in xenonite farms like mine. All critical bulkheads of his ship, including the fuel tanks, are made of xenonite. There's nothing standing between his Talmiba and his fuel. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. How is this getting resolved in 2 chapters? Hey,
I
Ryan.
don't know if it is.
Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
29 is long.
Yeah. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, I can't count. Hey, so Andy Wire, if anything happens to my boy Rocky, I'm coming for you. If he gets cooked by the Talmiba, I'm coming for you. Please.
My boy.
Leave my
That's
boy
my
alone.
son. That's my boy.
All right,
On
chapter.
the bright side, the last chapter looks pretty short, I guess.
Oh, good
Laugh through the
heavens.
pain. We laugh through the pain.
Okay, chapter 29. I made the new Talmiba farm. Sheet aluminum and some basic milling on the CNC mill. It wasn't a problem. Rocky's ship is the problem. I've been watching his engine flare every day for the past month. Now it's gone. Oh no. Thin ice.
You're skating. You are skating, my friend.
I float in the control room. The spin drives are off and the Petrova scope is set to maximum sensitivity. There's some random Petrova wavelength light coming from Tau City itself, as always, and even that's dim. The star, almost as bright as Earth's sun, now just looks like a fatter than usual dot in the night sky. But aside from that, nothing. I'm way too far away to detect the Tau Ceti Adrian Petrova line, and the blip A is nowhere to be seen. And I know right where it should be, down to the milli-arc second, and from there, its engine should be lighting up my scope. I ran the numbers again, though I'd already proven my formulae correct by daily observations of its progress. Now there's nothing. No blip from the blip A. He's derelict out there. His Talmiba escaped their enclosure and wormed their way into his fuel bays. From there, they ate everything. Millions of kilograms of astrophage, gone in a matter of days. He's smart, so surely he has the fuel compartmentalized. But those compartments are made of xenonite, right? Yeah, 3 days. If the ship were damaged, he'd fix it. There's nothing Rocky can't fix, and he works fast. 5 arms whipping around, often doing unrelated things. He could be dealing with a massive Talmiba infection, but how long would that take? He has plenty of nitrogen. He can harvest as much as he wants from his ammonia atmosphere. Let's assume he did that as soon as he noticed the contagion. How long would it take him to get things back online? Not this long. Whatever may have happened, if the blip A could be fixed, he would have fixed it by now. The only explanation for it still being dead in space is that it has no fuel. He wasn't able to stop the Talmiba in time. I put my head in my hands. I can go home. I really can. I can return and spend the rest of my life as a hero. Statues, parades, etc. And I'll be in a new world order where all energy problems are solved. Cheap, easy, renewable energy everywhere thanks to astrophage. I can track down Strahd and tell her to shove it. But then Rocky dies. And more important, Rocky's people die. Billions of them. I'm this close. I just need to survive 4 years. Yeah, it'll be eating nasty coma slurry, but I'll be alive. My annoying logical mind points out the other option. Launch the Beatles, all 4 of them, each with their own Talmiba mini farm and a USB stick full of data and findings. Earth scientists will take it from there. Then turn the Hail Mary around, find Rocky, and take him home to Arid. One problem, it means I die. I have enough food to survive the trip to Earth, or I have enough to survive the trip to Arid. But even if the Iridians refuel the Hail Mary right away, there won't be enough food for me to survive the trip back to Earth from Arid. I'll only have a few months of food left at that point. I can't grow anything. I don't have any viable seeds or living plant matter. I can't eat Iridian food. Too many heavy metals and other major toxins. So that's what I'm left with. Option 1, go home a hero and save all humanity. Option 2, go to Arid, save an alien species, and starve to death shortly after. I pull on my hair. I sob into my hands. It's cathartic and exhausting. All I see when I close my eyes is Rocky's dumb carapace and his little arms always fidgeting with something. Rylan.
I swear on everything.
Oh my goodness. It's been 6 weeks since I made my decision. It wasn't easy, but I'm sticking with it. I have the spin drives off for my daily ritual. I bring up the Petrovoscope and look out into space. I see nothing at all. Sorry, Rocky, I say. No, no, no. No, no, no. Hold on. Hold on. Then I spot a tiny speck of Petrovolite. I zoom in and search that area. A total of 4 little dots, barely visible, are on the monitor. I know you'd love a beetle to take apart, but I couldn't spare one. The beetles, with much smaller spin drives, won't be visible for much longer, especially with them zooming off toward Earth and me heading almost the opposite direction toward the blip A. He's coming back. He's coming back.
Yes.
Oh, Ryland.
My boy.
Oh, Ryland. The astrophage coils in the mini farms will protect the Talmiba from radiation, and I did thorough tests to make sure both the farms and the life inside could handle the massive acceleration that beetles use. They'll be back at Earth in a couple years from their point of view, about 13 years from Earth's time frame. I bring the spin drives back online and continue on course. Finding a spaceship somewhere just outside the Tau Ceti system is no small task. Imagine being given a rowboat and told to find a toothpick somewhere in the ocean. It's like that, but nowhere near that as easy. Like that's easy. I know his course and I know he followed it, but I don't know when his engine's cocked out. I only checked up on him once a day. Right now, I'm smack dab in the center of my best guess for his position, and I've matched my best guess on his velocity. But that's only the beginning. I have a heck of a search ahead of me. I wish I had tracked him more often, because I don't know the exact time his engines died. The margin of error on my guess is about 20 million kilometers. That's about 1/8 the distance between Earth and the Sun. It's a distance so large it takes a full minute to traverse it. That's the best I can do with the information I have. Frankly, I'm lucky the error margin is so small. If the Talmiba had escaped a month later, it would have been exponentially worse. And all of this is going on at the edge of the Tau Ceti system, barely the beginning of the trip. The distance between Tau Ceti and Earth is over 4,000 times the entire width of the Tau Ceti system. Space is big. It's so, so big. So yeah, I'm extremely lucky to have only 20 million kilometers to search. I mumble. This far away from Tau Ceti, his ship won't be reflecting much Tau light. There's no chance I'd spot the blip A with my telescope. Side note, I'm going to die. Stop, I say. Whenever I think about my impending death, I think about Rocky instead. He must have a sense of hopelessness right now. I'm coming, buddy. Wait. I'm sure he's sad, but he's also not one to mope for long. He'll be working on a solution. What would he do? His whole species is on the line, and he doesn't know that I'm coming. He wouldn't just kill himself, right? He'd do anything he could think of, even if it would have only a tiny % chance of success. Okay, I'm Rocky. My ship is dead. Maybe I rescued some astrophage. Tell me, but haven't gotten all of it, right? So I have some. Can I make my own beetle? Send something to send back to Arid? I shook my head. That would require a guidance system, computer stuff, way beyond Iridian science. That's why they had a crew of 23 on a massive ship in the first place. Besides, it's been a month and a half. If he were going to build a little ship, he'd be done by now and I would have seen its engine flare. Rocky moves fast. Okay, no beetle, but he's got energy, life support, food enough to last him a long, long time. Original crew of 23, and it was always intended to be a round-trip voyage. Radio, I say. Maybe he'll make a radio signal, something powerful enough to be heard on Arid. Just a small chance of detection, but something. Iridians have a long lifespan. Waiting a decade or so for rescue wouldn't be that big of a deal. Well, not on the life or death scale. If you asked me a few years ago, I'd say it's not possible to send a radio signal 10 light years. But this is Rocky we're talking about, and he might have some rescued astrophage to power whatever he creates. It doesn't have to contain information, it just has to be noticed. But no, there's no way. There's just no way. Some back of the napkin math tells me that even with Earth's radio technology, which is better than Arid's, the strength of that signal at Arid would be way less than background noise. Rocky will know that too, so there's no point. Hmm. I wish I had a better radar. Mine is good for a few thousand kilometers. Obviously, that's nowhere near good enough. Rocky could probably whip something up if he were here. It's a little paradoxical, but I wish Rocky were here to help me save Rocky. Better radar, I mumble. Well, I have plenty of power. I have a radar system. Maybe I can work something out. But you can't just add power to the emitter and expect things to go well. I'll burn it out for sure. How can I turn astrophage energy into radio rays? I shoot up from my pilot seat. Duh! I have everything I need for the best radar ever. To heck with my built-in radar system and its measly emitter and sensors. I have spin drives and a Petrovoscope. I can throw 900 terawatts of IR light out the back of my ship and see if any of it bounces back with the Petrovoscope, an instrument carefully designed to detect even the smallest amounts of that exact frequency of light. I can't have the Petrovoscope and engines on at the same time, but that's okay. Rocky is up to a light minute away. I work up I work up a search grid. It's pretty simple. I'm smack dab in the middle of my guesstimate on Rocky's location, so I have to search all directions. Easy enough. I fire up the spin drives. I take manual control, which as usual requires me to say yes, 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 and override to a bunch of warning dialogues. I throw the throttle to full and turn hard to port with the yaw controls. The force that was a crazy sentence. Throw the throttle to full and pour hard to port with the yaw. Anyways, the force shoved me back into my seat and to the side. This is the astronavigational equivalent of doing donuts in the 7-Eleven parking lot. I keep it tight. It takes me 30 seconds to do one full rotation. I'm roughly back where I started. Probably a few dozen kilometers off, but whatever. I cut the engines. Now I watch the Petrovoscope. It's not omnidirectional, but it can cover a good 90-degree arc of space at a time. I slowly pan across space in the same direction I'd shined the engines and at the same rate. It's not perfect. I could get the timing wrong. If Rocky is very close or very far away, this won't work. But this is just my first try. I finish a full circle with the Petrovoscope. Nothing. So I do another lap. Maybe Rocky is farther than I thought. The second lap turns up nothing. Well, I'm not done yet. Space is three-dimensional. I've only searched one flat slice of the area. I pitch my ship forward 5 degrees, do the same I do the I do the same search pattern again, but this time the plane of my search pattern is 5 degrees different from the last time. If I don't get a hit on this pass, I'll do another 5-degree tilt and try again, and so on until I get to 90 degrees, when I will have searched all directions. And if that doesn't work, I'll start over, but with a faster pan rate on the Petrovoscope. I rub my hands together, take a sip of water, and get to work. A flash! I finally see a flash! Halfway through my Petrova pan of a 55-degree plane. A flash. I flail in surprise, which launches me out of the seat. I bounce around the zero-G control room and scramble back into position. It's been slow going up till now. I was bored as a guy could be, but not anymore. Crud! Where is it? Okay, relax. Calm down, calm down. I put my finger on the screen where I saw the blip. I check the Petrovoscope bearing, do some math on the screen, and work out the angle. It's 214 degrees yaw in my current plane, which is 55 degrees off the Tau Ceti Adrian orbital ecliptic. Gotcha. Time for a better reading. I strap on my now worn and banged up stopwatch. Zero G has not been kind to the little guy, but it still works. I take the controls and angle the ship directly away from the contact. I start the stopwatch, thrust in a straight line for 10 seconds, turn, and shut down the engines. I'm moving something like 150 meters per second away from the contact, but that doesn't matter. I don't want to zero out the velocity I just added. I want the Petrovoscope. I stare at the screen and the stopwatch ticking away in my hand. Soon I see the blip again. 28 seconds. The spot of light remains for 10 seconds, then disappears. I can't guarantee it's the blip A, but whatever it is, it's definitely a reflection of my spin drives, and it's 14 light seconds away. 14 seconds to get there, 14 seconds to get back equals 28 seconds. That works out to be 4 million kilometers. No point in trying to work out the object's velocity by taking multiple readings. I don't have that kind of precision with my finger on the screen approach, but I have a heading. I can cover 4 million kilometers in 9.5 hours. I fist pump. Yes, I'm definitely going to die. I don't know why I said that. I guess, well, if I wasn't able to find Rocky, I'd set a course for Earth. I'm surprised I put this much effort into it, actually. Whatever. I set a course for where I saw the blip and fire up the engines. I don't even need to account for relativity on this one. Just high school physics. I'll accelerate half the way, then decelerate the other half. He's finally being brave. He's not a coward anymore.
I love to see it.
I spend the next 9 hours cleaning up. I'm going to have a guest again, I hope. Rocky will have to plug up all the holes he made in the xenonite walls, but that shouldn't be a problem. That assumes the contact I got was the blip A and not just a random piece of debris in space. I try not to think about it. Keep hope alive and all that. I move all my junk out of the xenonite areas. Once I'm done with that, I fidget a lot. I want to stop and do another sweep to confirm my heading, but I resist the urge. Just wait it out. I stare at the aluminum Talmiba farm in my lab, and the slide of astrophage next to it in the Talmiba alarm. Everything is going just fine. Maybe I could. The timer beeps. I'm at the location. I scramble up the ladder to the control room, shut off the spin drives. I have the radar screen up before I even get in the chair. I do a full active ping and full power. Come on. Nothing. I settle into the seat and strap in. I thought something like this might happen. I'm a lot closer to the contact now, but still not in radar range. I just traveled 4 million kilometers. Radar range is less than a thousandth of that. So my precision is in 99.9%. Big surprise. Time for another Petrovoscope sweep. But this time I don't have the luxury of a full light minute between me and the contact, wherever it is. If I'm, say, 100,000 kilometers away, I'll have less than a second of light. I'll have less than a second before the light comes back to me, and I can't use the Petrovoscope with the spin drives on. So now what? I need to create a bunch of astrophage light without turning off the Petrovoscope. I look through the menu options. I don't find anything. There's no way to have the scope on when the spin drives are running. It must be a physical interlock somewhere. Somewhere aboard this ship is a wire leading from the spin drive controls to the Petrovoscope. I could spend the rest of my life looking for that and have no success. However, the main engines aren't the only spin drives I have. The attitude adjustment engines are little spin drives sticking out of the side of the Hail Mary. They're what let me yaw, pitch, and roll the ship. I wonder if the Petrovoscope cares about them. I keep the scope on and do a quick roll to the left. The ship rolls and the scope stays active. Gotta love those edge cases. Though I'm sure someone on the design team thought of this case. They probably decided that comparatively small input from the attitude drives wouldn't hurt the scope. And looking at the overall concepts, it makes sense. The engines and attitude drives all point away from the ship and thus away from the Petrovoscope. The reason it shuts down when the main drives are on is because of reflected light off small amounts of cosmic dust. The reflected light from the far less powerful adjustment drives was deemed acceptable. But those adjustment drives are still putting out enough light to vaporize steel. Maybe there'll be enough to light up the blip A. I aim the Petrovoscope parallel to the port yaw side thruster. In fact, I can see the thruster itself in the bottom of the visible light mode image. I fire it up. There's definitely a visible glow in the Petrova spectrum, a general haze near the thruster, like turning on a flashlight in the fog. But after a few seconds, the haze dies down. It's still there, just not as prevalent. Probably dust and trace gases from the Hail Mary herself, tiny particles of stuff drifting away from the ship. Once the thruster vaporized, vaporized all the ones nearby, things calmed down. I keep the thruster on and let the ship rotate on its yaw axis as I watch the petroscope. Now I have a flashlight. The rotation rate of the ship increases faster and faster. I can't have that, so I activate the starboard side yaw thruster as well. The computer complains up a storm. There's no sensible reason to tell the ship to rotate clockwise and counterclockwise at the same time. I ignore the warnings. Brother, what are you doing? I do a full revolution and see nothing. Okay, nothing new. I do a 5-degree pitch adjustment and try again. On my sixth go round, at 25 degrees from the Adrian ecliptic, I spot the contact. Still too far away to make out any detail, but it's a flash of light in response to my yaw thruster. I flick the thruster on and off a few times to gauge the response time. It's nearly instant. Instant. I'd say less than a quarter second. I'm within 75,000 kilometers. I point toward the contact and fire up the drives. This time I won't go barreling in willy-nilly. I'll stop every 20,000 kilometers or so and take another reading. I smile. It's working. Now I just have to hope I haven't been chasing an asteroid all day. Oh wow, only 4 pages until this chapter's done. That's crazy. With careful flying and repeated measurements, I finally have the object on radar. It's right there on the screen. Blip A. Oh, right, I say. I forgot that's how it got its name. I'm 4,000 kilometers away, at the very edge of radar range. I bring up the telescope view, but I can't see anything, even at the highest magnification. The telescope was made for finding celestial bodies hundreds or thousands of kilometers away, across, not a spaceship a few hundred meters long. I creep closer. The object's velocity with respect to Tau Ceti is about right for Rocky's ship, roughly at the speed he would have gotten to around the time his engines died. I could take a bunch of readings and do math to work out its course, but I have an easier plan. I thrust for a few minutes here, a few minutes there, slowing down and speeding up until I match the object's velocity. It's still 4,000 kilometers away, but now the relative velocity to me is almost zero. Why do this? Because the Hail Mary is very good at telling me about its own course. I bring up the nav console and tell it to calculate my current orbit. After some stargazing and calculation, the computer tells me exactly what I wanted to hear. The Hail Mary is on a hyperbolic trajectory. That means I'm not in orbit at all. I'm on an escape vector, leaving Tau Ceti's gravity influence entirely. And that means the object I'm tracking down is also on an escape vector. You know what objects in a solar system don't do? They don't escape the star's gravity. Anything going fast enough to escape did so billions of years ago. Whatever this is, it's no normal asteroid. Yes, 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 I say. I kick the spin drives on and head toward the contact. I'm coming, buddy. Hold tight. When I'm within 500 kilometers, I finally get some resolution on the object. All I see is a highly pixelated triangle. It's 4 times as long as it is wide. It's not much information, but it's enough. It's the Blip A. I know the profile well. I have a bag of Billy Keenan's vodka handy for just such an occasion. I take a sip from the zip straw. I cough and wheeze. Dang, she liked her liquor rough. Rocky, we're coming. Rocky's ship sits. Hold on, I need to take a sip.
Go for it.
It's a long ass chapter.
It is. But hey, we're only like a little over 10 pages away from the end.
It's kind of sad though.
I know, I was really into this book.
This was a good first pick.
It really was.
Rocky's ship sits 50 meters off my starboard side. I came up really carefully. I don't want to cross an entire solar system just to accidentally vaporize him with my engines. I've matched velocities to within a few centimeters per second. It's been almost 3 months since we parted. From the outside, the Blip A looks the same as it always has, but something is definitely wrong. I've tried everything to communicate. Radio, flashes a spin drive light, nothing gets a response. I get a sinking feeling. What if Rocky's dead? He was all alone in there. What if all heck broke loose while he was in a sleep cycle? Iridians don't wake up until their bodies are ready. What if the life support system went offline and he was asleep and he just never woke up? What if he died of radiation sickness? All that astrophage that was protecting him from radiation turned into methane and Talmiba. Iridians are very susceptible to radiation. It might have happened so fast he didn't have a chance to react. I shake my head. No, he's Rocky. He's smart. He'd have backup plans, a separate life support system that he sleeps in, I bet. And he'd account for radiation. It killed his entire crew. But why no response? He can't see. He doesn't have windows. He'd have to actively look outside with the Blip A sensory equipment to know I'm there at all. Why would he do that? He thinks he's hopelessly derelict in space. Eva time. I climb on into the Orlan for what seems like the millionth time and cycle through the airlock. I have a nice long tether anchored to the airlock interior itself. I look out into the vast nothingness before me. I can't see the Blip A. Tau Ceti is too far away to light things up. I only know where the ship is because it blocks the background stars. I'm just out in space, and a big chunk of it has no pinpricks of light. There's no good way to do this. I'm just going to have to take a guess. I kick off the Hail Mary's hole as hard as I can, aiming for the Blip A. Bro just launched himself into space. Oh, Ryland, you're giving me anxiety. It's a big ship. I just have to hit any part of it. And hey, if I miss, the tether will bounce me back in the galaxy's first interstellar bungee jump. I float across space. The blackness ahead of me grows. More and more stars disappear until I see nothing. I don't even have a sense of movement. I know logically I must have the same velocity as when I kicked off my ship, but there's nothing to prove it. Then I spot a faint blotchy tan glow ahead. I'm finally close enough to the Blip A that my helmet lights are illuminating part of it. It gets brighter and brighter. I can see the hull more clearly now. It's go time. I have just seconds to find something to grab onto. I know his hull has rails all over the place for that robot to get around. I'm hoping I'll be close enough to grab one. I spot a rail dead ahead, and I reach out. Slam! I hit the Blip A much harder than Eva suit should. I shouldn't have kicked off the Hail Mary with so much gusto. I scrabble at the hull, grabbing for anything. My fail to grab a rail failed miserably. I got a hand on one, but just couldn't keep a grip. I bounce and start drifting away. The tether gets tangled up behind and around me. It'll be a long climb back to my ship for another try. Then I spot a weird, jagged protuberance on the hull a few meters away. An antenna, maybe? It's too much to reach with my hands, but maybe I can get it with the tether. I'm drifting away from the hull at a slow but steady rate, and I don't have a jetpack. It's now or never. I tie a quick slip knot in the tether and throw it at the antenna, and I'll be gosh darned I nailed it. I just wrangled an alien spaceship. I pull the loop tight. For a second, I worry it might break the antenna off, but then I see the blotchy tan texture. The antenna, if that's what it was, is made of xenonite. It's not going anywhere. I pull myself along the tether to the hole. This time, with the antenna and tether to aid me, I manage to grab hold of a nearby robot rail. Whew, I say. I take a moment to catch my breath, now to put Rocky's hearing to the test. I pull the biggest wrench I have from my tool belt. I rear back and smack the hull, hard. I smack it over and over. Clank, clank, clank. I hear the sound through my own Eva suit. If he's alive in there, that'll get his attention. I push one end of the wrench against the hull and crouch down to bring my helmet in contact with the other end. I stretch my neck out in the helmet and push my chin against the faceplate. Rocky, I yell as loud as I can. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm here, buddy. I'm on your hull. I wait a few seconds. I have my Eva suit radio on, same frequency as always. Say something. Let me know you're okay. I turn up my radio volume. All I hear is static. Rocky! A crackle. My ears perk up. Rocky? Grace? Question? He's back! Our boy! Yes, I've never been so happy to hear a few musical notes. Yeah, buddy, it's me. You are here? Question? His voice is so high-pitched I can barely understand him, but I understand Iridian pretty well now. Yes, I'm here. You are, he squeaks. He squeaks again. You are here. Yes, set up the airlock tunnel. Warning, Talmiba 82.5 is. I know, it can get through Xenonite. That's why I'm here. I knew you'd be in trouble. You saved me. Yes, I got the Talmiba in time. I still have fuel. Set up the tunnel. I'm taking you to Arid. You save me and you save Arid, he squeaks. Set up the darn tunnel. Get back in you ship, unless you want to look at tunnel from outside. Oh, right. I love them so much. I eagerly wait by the airlock door, trying to watch the action play out through the little window. It's all happened before, Rocky attaching the airlock to airlock tunnel with the whole robot, but this time it was a little more challenging. I had to maneuver the Hail Mary into position because the blip A can't move at all. Still, we got it done. A final clank, then a hiss. I know that sound. I float into the airlock and check through the outer window. The tunnel is in place. He kept it all this time. Why not? It's an artifact from his species' first contact with alien life. I'd keep it too. I turn the emergency relief valve. Air from my ship fills my half of the tunnel. Once it equalizes, I throw open the door and fly in. Rocky waits for me on the other side. His clothes are a mess, covered in the all too familiar gunky Talmiba residue, and there are burns all along one side of his jumpsuit, and two of his arms are in pretty bad shape. Looks like he had a pretty rough time, but his body language is sheer joy. He bounces from handhold to handhold. I am very, very, very happy, he says with a high pitch. I pointed to his bad arms. Are you hurt? I will heal. Attempted many things to stop Talmiba infestation. All failed. I succeeded, I say. My ship isn't made of xenonite. What happened? Question. I sigh. The Talmiba evolved to resist nitrogen, but it also evolved to get into xenonite to hide from nitrogen. The side effect is Talmiba 82.5 can work its way through xenonite over time. A maze. Now what? Question. I still have 2 million kilograms of astrophage. Bring your stuff aboard. We're going to Arid. Happy, 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 happy. He pauses. Need to make nitrogen wash. Make sure no Talmiba 82.5 get into Hail Mary. Yes, I have full faith in your abilities. Make a sterilizer. He shifts from one set of bars to another. Those burned arms are hurting him, I can tell. What about Earth? Question. I sent the beetles with the mini farms. Talmiba 82.5 can't get through Iridian steel. Good, good, he says. I make sure my people take good care of you. They will make astrophage maybe for you to go home. Yeah, I say, about that. I'm not going home. The beetles will save Earth, but I won't ever see it again. His joyous bouncing stops. Why? Question. I don't have enough food. After I take you to Arid, I will die. You can die. His voice gets low. I no let you die. We send you home. Arid will be grateful. You save everyone. We do everything to save you. There's nothing you can do, I say. There's no food. I have enough to last until we get to Arid, and then a few months more. Maybe if your government gave me the astrophage to go home, I wouldn't survive the trip. Eat Arid food. We evolved from same life. We use same proteins, same chemicals, same sugars. Must work. No, I can't eat your food, remember? You say is bad for you. We find out. I hold up my hands. It's not just bad for me. It will kill me. Your whole ecology uses heavy metals all over the place. Most of them are toxic to me. I die immediately. He trembles. No, you can die. You are friend. I float closer to the divider wall and talk softly. It's okay. I made my decision. This is the only way to save both of our worlds. He backs away. Then you go home. Go home now. I wait here. Arid maybe send another ship someday. That's ridiculous. Do you really want to risk the survival of your entire species on that guess? He's silent for a few moments and finally answers, No. Okay, get that ball thing you use as a spacesuit. Come on over. Talk me through how to patch up with the xenonite walls. Then you can move your stuff in. Wait, he says. You can no eat Arid life. You have Earth life to eat. What about Adrian life? Question. I snort. Astrophage? I can't eat that. It's 96 degrees all the time. It would burn me alive. Plus, I doubt my digestive enzymes would even work on its weird cell membrane. Not astrophage. Talmiba. Eat Talmiba. I can't eat. I pause. What? Can I eat Talmiba? It's alive. It has DNA. It is mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell.
Number one scientific. What's the number one?
Oh my gosh. It stores energy as glucose. It does the Krebs cycle. It's not astrophage. It's not 96 degrees. It's just an amoeba from another planet. I won't have heavy metals like Iridian life evolve to have. They aren't even present in Adrian's atmosphere. I don't know. Maybe I can. He points to his ship. I have 22 million kilograms of Talmiba in fuel bays. How much you want? Question. I widen my eyes. It's the first time I felt genuine hope in a long time. Settled. He put his claw against the divider. Fist my bump. I laugh and put my knuckles against the xenonite. Fist bump. It's just fist bump. Understand. He does not understand.
No, he does not.
He says fist my bump. We are on.
Oh, there's some pages.
We are on the final chapter. Rylan might actually get to go home.
Stick at the straw. That's all I want to hear.
Oh my gosh, I'm so anxious. I finish off the last bite of my me burger. Me burger?
I think.
Okay, and gulp down the vitamin-enriched soda. I put my dishes in the sink and check the clock on my kitchen wall. Wow, oh my gosh. Is it VLI, weird symbol already? I better hurry up. My first few years on Arid were touch and go.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, what?
Wait, look at the chapter name.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. Talmiba kept me alive, but I became severely malnourished. The microbes gave me calories, but they weren't a balanced diet. Those were painful days. I had scurvy, beriberi, and a raft of other maladies.
Good Lord.
Was it worth it? No, I still don't know. I might never know. There's no way to communicate with Earth. It's 16 light years away. For all I know, the beetles may have malfunctioned or missed their target. I don't even know if the climatologists like Leclerc were right in their models for what would happen. The Hail Mary might have been hopeless from the get-go. Earth might already be a frozen wasteland with billions of corpses. But I try to stay positive. What else have I got? For what it's worth, the Iridians are fantastic hosts. They don't have a government per se, but all the important entities agree to do whatever it takes to keep me alive. After all, I played a critical role in saving their planet. Even if I hadn't, I'm a living, breathing alien. Of course they're going to keep me alive. I'm of extreme scientific interest. What is happening? What is this last chapter? I live in a big dome in the middle of one of their cities, though city isn't quite the right word. A better description might be a cluster. I have grounds and everything. 30 Iridians outside the dome maintain my life support systems, or so I'm told, and my dome is very close to one of the larger science centers. Many of Arid's greatest minds collect there and thrum. That's sort of a song and discussion in one. But everyone talks at the same time, and it's not really conscious on their part. Somehow the thrum leads to conclusions and decisions. The thrum itself is much smarter than any Iridian in it. In a way, Iridians can become ad hoc neurons in a group mind, but they come and go as they please. I'm particularly interesting, so pretty much every scientist on the planet came together to thrum up ways to keep me alive. I'm told it was the second largest science-oriented thrum ever executed. The largest, of course, was when they had to make a plan for dealing with astrophage. Thanks to my Earth scientific journals, they know all my nutritional needs and how to synthesize the various vitamins and labs. Once they solved that, smaller, less focused groups worked on making them taste better. That's more or less up to me, actually. Lots of taste tests. coast, common in both iridian and human bodies, comes up a lot.
Biomes.
Oh, iridian human biomes comes up a lot. The best thing, though, is they managed to clone my muscle tissue and grow it in labs. I can thank Earth Science for that. They were nowhere near that technology when I first showed up, but that was 16 years ago. They're catching up quite well. I'm sorry. What? Hold on. Anyways, it means I can finally eat meat. Yes, that's right. I'm eating human meat.
What is going on? What's happening?
But it's my own meat, and I don't.
We have 3 pages left, and you're doing so well.
But it's my own meat, and I don't feel bad about it. He's essentially cannibalizing himself.
What?
Huh? What?
What is going on?
Spend a decade eating nothing but odd-tasting, vaguely sweet vitamin shakes, and then see if you'll turn down a burger. I love me burgers. I eat one every day.
So that's why it's called a me burger.
Hey. What is happening? This last chapter has taken such a random turn. What happened? What is happening?
I'm scared to go on.
I grab my cane and head out. I'm not a young man anymore, and the high gravity of Arid has only made my bones degenerate faster. I think I'm 53 years old now, but I'm not sure. I've done a lot of time-dilated travel. I can accurately say 71 years have gone by on Earth since I was born, for what it's worth. I leave through my front door and cross the grounds. There are no plants or anything. I'm the only thing on this planet that can survive my environment, but there are some very tasteful and aesthetically pleasing rocks. It's become a hobby of mine, making the grounds as pretty as possible. The Iridians just see a bunch of rocks, but I see all the colors. They installed lights at the top of the dome that get brighter and dimmer on a 24-hour cycle. I explained that's critical to my mood, and they took my word for it, though I did have to explain to this species of interstellar travelers how to make light bulbs. I make my way along the gravel pathway to one of the many meeting rooms at the dome's walls. Iridians value face-to-carapace communication as much as humans do, and this is a good compromise. My side is within my bubble environment, and on the other side of the 1 centimeter clear xenonite is a room that's out in Arid's natural atmosphere. I hobble in. It's one of the smaller meeting rooms, really only suitable for a one-on-one conversation, but it's become our go-to spot for meeting up. Rocky waits for me on the Iridian side. Finally, I've been waiting for L weird symbol minutes. What took you so long? I can understand Iridian fluently now, of course, and Rocky is equally fluent in English comprehension. I'm old. Give me a break. It takes me a while to get ready in the morning. Oh, you had to eat, right? Rocky says, a tinge of disgust in his voice. You told me not to talk about that in polite company. I'm not polite company, my friend. I snicker. So what's up? He wiggles and jiggles. I've almost never seen him this excited. I just heard from the astronomy hive. They have news. I hold my breath. Sol. Is it about Sol? Yes, he squeals. Your star has returned to full luminance. I gasp. Are you sure? Like ILL% certainty? Yes. The data was analyzed by a thrum of weird symbol V astronomers. It checks out. I can't move. I can barely breathe. I start to tremble. It's over. We won. Simple as that. Sol, Earth's sun, has returned to its pre-astrophage brightness. There's only one possible way that happens. Astrophage is gone, or at least reduced in population so that it doesn't matter. We won. We did it. Rocky cocks his carapace. Hey, your face is leaking. I haven't seen that in a long-ass time.
Oh,
They taught him to curse.
learning things.
They taught my boy to curse. Remind me, does that mean you're happy? And his speaking's gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me, does that mean you're happy or sad? Because it can mean either one, right? I'm happy, of course, I sob. Yeah, I thought so. Just checking. He holds a bald claw against the Xenonite. Is this a fist bump situation? He said fist bump. I press my knuckles to the Xenonite as well. This is a monumentally epic fist bump situation. I guess your scientist got right on it, he says. If you account for the time it took your beetles to get there and the travel time for light to get from Sol to Arid, I think it took less than one of your years to get it done. I nod. It's still sinking in. So will you go home now, or will you stay? The entities that make major decisions for Arid long ago offered to refuel the Hail Mary. It's still sitting in a nice stable orbit around Arid, where it's been since Rocky and I first arrived all those years ago. The Iridians could stock it up with food and supplies, help me make sure everything is working right, and send me on my way. But so far, I haven't taken them up on it. It's a long, lonely journey, and until a minute ago, I didn't even know if Earth was still habitable. Arid may not be where I'm from, but at least I have friends here. I don't know. I'm getting old, and the trip is long. Speaking from a selfish perspective, I hope you stay, but that's just me.
Oh.
Rocky, that news about Sol, it makes my whole life have meaning, you know? I still can't. I can't. I start sobbing again. Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to be the one to tell you. I check my watch. Yes, the Iridians made me a wristwatch. They make anything I ask for. I try not to abuse it. I have to go. I'm late. But, Rocky, I know, he says, tilting his carapace in what I've come to realize is a smile. I know. We'll talk more about it later. I have to get home anyway. Adrian is going to sleep soon, so I have to be there to watch. We both head toward our respective exits, but he pauses. Hey, Grace, do you ever wonder about other life out there? I lean on my cane. Sure, all the time. He walks back in. I keep thinking about it. The theories are pretty hard to dispute. Some ancestor of Astrophage seeded Earth and Arid with life billions of years ago. Yeah, I say, and I know where you're going with this. Do you? Yeah, I shift my weight from one leg to the other. Arthritis is starting to settle in my joints. High gravity isn't great for humans. There are fewer than 50 stars as close to Tau Ceti as we are, but 2 of them ended up with life. It means, at least, the life Tau Ceti puts out might be a lot more common in our galaxy than we think. Think we'll find more of them? Intelligent species? Who knows, I say. You and I found each other. That's something. Yeah, he says. It really is something. Go do your job, old man. Later, Rocky. Later. I hobble out of the room and make my way along the perimeter of the dome. They made the whole thing out of clear xenonite because they thought that's what I would want. But it doesn't matter. It's pitch dark outside all the time. Sure, I can shine a flashlight out there and occasionally see an Iridian going about his business, but I don't get sweeping vistas of mountains or anything. Just inky blackness. My smile fades a little. How bad did it get back on Earth? Did they work together to survive, or did millions die in war and famine? They were able to collect the beetles, read my information, and implement a solution that would have involved a probe going to Venus. So there's definitely some advanced infrastructure still there. I bet they did work together. Maybe it's just childish optimist. Maybe it's just the childish optimist in me, but humanity can be pretty impressive when we put our minds to it. After all, everyone worked together to build the Hail Mary. That was no easy feat. I still hold my head up high. Well, I hold my head up high. Maybe I will go home someday. Maybe I'll find out for sure. But not right now. Right now, I've got work to do. I continue along the path to the large double doors leading to another meeting space, and I have to say, it's my favorite one. I step into the chamber. About 1/5 of the room is my Earth environment. The other side of the divider has 30 little Iridians bouncing around like idiots. Each one is no more than 30 Earth years old. The selection process for which ones get to attend, well, Iridian culture is complicated. An Earth-like keyboard sits in the center of my area, oriented such that the operator faces the kids. The organ has quite a few more options than a typical keyboard found on Earth. I can apply inflection, tone, mood, and all other little intricacies of spoken language. I settle into the comfortable chair, crack my knuckles, and start the class. All right, I play. Everyone settle down and get in your seats. They scamper to their assigned desks and sit quietly, ready for the lesson to begin. Who here can tell me the speed of light? 12 kids raise their claws.
Oh my
He became a teacher. And that is the end of Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. That last chapter was insanity.
Yes, it was.
I was not expecting him to be like, oh yeah, so I just stayed on Arid for 16 years. I'm in my 50s now.
Burger.
Do not bring up the me burgers. Do not. Do not. Bro's eating himself.
He is. There's a Stephen King short story that reminded me of, but I'm not going to talk about. I just remember reading it in senior year and going, oh.
Bro. That was such a good book.
That honestly really was.
That was so fun.
I enjoyed it.
And at the end of the day, he still manages to save his planet. He manages to save everyone. Like he was.
Rocky survived to the end, and that is all I needed to happen.
Exactly.
I didn't care what happened to Earth. I was like, listen, as long as Rocky survives, we'll be fine.
At that point, I was like, my boy better survive, or we're about to have some problems. Oh my goodness. And I loved how at the start he was a coward. Like, he's a coward that got forced onto the ship, but at the end of the day, like, by the end, he became courageous enough to truly, like, voluntarily forfeit his life.
Yeah.
So that he could save his friend.
He's so brave.
And he's still a teacher, and he's teaching little aliens. Oh.
He's teaching the little Iridians. He's teaching them about science.
He's teaching them science. So yeah, I fear 5 stars for me. I think
it was so good.
I fear this was a 5-star read for me.
We picked a really good one to start.
Yeah, we did. Oh.
This also might be 5 stars for me.
I feel like it can't be anything else. I got way too attached to the main character, and despite all the science jargon, I feel like it presented itself in a way that was easy to digest.
Yeah.
If we weren't, like at 1 a.m. trying to read.
Exactly.
For the most part, it's not a fault of the book. It's our fault because we kept staying up. But
I'm also just not a huge, I don't know much about science.
Yeah, I don't either. But
I'm doing stuff with, I can't really say I'm doing stuff with science because it's all psychological stuff.
Yeah. It is a science. It's just a very, very different kind of science.
Extremely different. It's more like cells and biology.
And space. Which is very different.
This is astrophysicist people.
This is quite literally rocket science.
It is quite literally.
It's quite literally rocket science. Oh, that was so good. Yeah, that's a 5-star read for me. I
cannot wait for this movie.
Me too. I need to see how well Ryan Gosling does Ryland Grace justice. That's really funny. Ryland Grace, Ryan Gosling, both RG. It's perfect. Coincidence? But no, I fear that was so good. I'm so excited to see how the movie adapts it.
I am excited to see what they do with Rocky.
Me too. I'm very excited to see what they do with Rocky.
I'm very curious.
Yeah.
I should say that. I'm very curious.
I feel like they do a good job. Maybe that's the optimist in me, but I feel like they got to do a good job.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that last chapter was so out of pocket. Like,
it was.
I don't know what to think about that.
I thought I was like missing something critical. I was like,
it's like, what happened?
What?
I mean, that's one way to end your story. Just being like, oh yeah, we're gonna go save the world. Maybe I can eat amoeba to make it back to Earth in time. And then he's like, oh yeah, I've been here 16 years.
By the way,
I've been here 16 years. Hi, my name is Jared. I can't read. He's like, yeah, I've been here 16 years. They developed meat. They developed burgers out of my own body. I'm teaching an alien class. You know, we chill.
I was reading it and I was like, did I like skip an entire chapter? Did we miss something?
I know. I was like, what the freak? And then, because obviously when I saw the chapter, when it would be like chapter 30, but then the Iridian, I was like, well, maybe that is like symbolic of something, because obviously he spent so much time with.
Yeah,
because I thought it was gonna go like, oh, he spent so much time with Rocky that like that Iridian, the Iridian that he learned, just kind of stuck with him. So now, like, he's back on Earth, and he's kind of like talking in this hybrid Iridian human manner, or like thinking in it because he spent so much time with Rocky. But no,
I was thinking that too. Either that, or I was like, this might just be like the perspective of Rocky. Like maybe they're just like, and here's what happened with Rocky.
Yeah, or something like that.
Could not have prepared me.
For me, burgers, and Rocky got so good at speaking English by the end.
He did.
He got not speaking English, but like comprehending English.
Yes.
He don't say you know can die.
You know can die.
You know can die. Anyways, 10 out of 10, 5 stars. Would absolutely recommend.
So good.
I fully expect the movie to make me cry at some point.
Oh, me too.
I have a guess.
I fully expect it.
I have a guess that the book is, or not the book. The book nearly made me cry, but I have a sneaking suspicion that the movie is absolutely going to make me cry.
Oh, me too.
I'm about to get demolished. My heart and soul.
I am never ready for these things.
Oh, it was so good. Oh, that was such a good choice. I'm so glad we decided to read it before the movie came out.
I know.
And despite the fact that it's technically coming out in March, I feel like this is going to stick with me long enough to where I'm not concerned.
Yes.
About it. Because I mean, hey, I watched the Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein movie earlier this week, and I read that book several years ago in high school, and I still managed to remember everything. So it's crazy how the mind will work, and yet I can't remember what day it is half the time.
I can't even remember what I had for dinner yesterday.
You had spaghetti.
Yeah, I did. Spaghetti.
How do I remember better than you?
Because you were angry that I was eating spaghetti and you were butchering words.
I wasn't butchering them that bad. Considering
you were doing pretty okay.
Considering the fact that I was up until like 2:30, I think I did a pretty solid job.
Yeah.
I was like, I probably could have stayed up to finish the entire book. If I'm gonna be honest, like by the time I was finished with my chapters, I was still kind of energized. I was like, I could go the rest of the distance, but I wanted to wait for you.
Yeah.
We finish it together.
And that we do.
So now to the regular meeting, the end of the month meeting that we want to have, where we just yap about what we did this month in terms of reading. So, Kaylee, how's your
Hello.
month? How's your month of reading been? While I update my Fable and Goodreads.
Oh yeah, I also need to update my Fable. It's been pretty good. Obviously I've read this. I've been reading a little Disney Twisted Tale book, which I had read previously, but I'm rereading it so I can annotate it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm rereading it. It's the Frozen. It's a Frozen one. It's like the story of Frozen, but it's like with the twist of like what if, the two sisters Anna and Elsa never knew each other.
Okay.
And like how that would have, like how the story would have played out with that. I did the same thing with the Peter Pan one for Twisted Tale. I think, what's it called? Straight On Till Morning is what it's called, but it's like that whole book is like, what if Wendy first traveled to Neverland, Captain Hook.
Okay, interesting.
It's just like little like twists.
Yeah.
On the stories. I'm rereading the Frozen one right now. And then I think after that standalone, I'm going to finally maybe read The Book Thief.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was such a good one.
Because I've already read one, I am constantly hearing about it, and I just still haven't read it.
Oh, you've never read it before?
No, I've never read it before.
Oh, wow.
I never read it in like high school or anything like that.
Oh, man.
But I had read another book by the same author as Book Thief, and it was called The Messenger, and it was a really cool and interesting concept. So I really do want to read The Book Thief just because I liked how he wrote his other book.
Gotcha.
So I'm very excited to see his writing style with The Book Thief.
Fair enough. Book Thief I read in like middle school, but I still vividly remember it.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
I might like to reread it. You know what? I should reread it at some point. Because that was one that stuck with me for a long time. It was so good.
That's why I'm scared.
Oh yeah, the terror is justified. It made me cry multiple times.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to read The Book Thief next, or if I want to read City of Windows next.
What is City of Windows?
I was having to like reread the synopsis because my aunt gave me a bunch of books that she had already read. She was like, "Here, take them." So
the best Christmas gift ever.
I kind of want to get through the pile. But it's like there was like a blizzard, and an FBI agent was like killed by this says nearly impossible sniper shot.
Oh wow.
And so the book is them like trying to figure out who killed the guy.
Yeah, who sniped
when, like, the winter storm wiped out all of the evidence, obviously. But like I think the main character, like he left behind his FBI life, but he's like being dragged back into it because of this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like read the synopsis and like sum it up for you. There's like multiple executions. I think it says his partner was killed. I don't know if it's during this time or if it was a previous situation and this sniper is just coming back to do more damage. I'm not really sure. But and then like it says like towards the end of the synopsis says when Paige starts to see, which is like the main guy. The main guy, his name is Lucas Page. It says when Paige starts to see a pattern, the killer changes tactics and Paige's own family becomes a target.
Okay.
So now he's trying to figure out who the guy is while also trying to protect his family.
Interesting.
So it sounds really interesting, and so I'm debating if I want to read that next because it's a little smaller, less pages in The Book Thief. And the Book Thief might have to be like something in the summer when I have more time.
Fair.
So I'm in between The Book Thief and City of Windows for my next, like, by myself read after
Gotcha.
my Disney book.
Gotcha. So how many books have you read this month?
Actually, I can check my Fable because now with Project Hail Mary, it might be 2. Be quiet.
No. I'm not teasing you.
I mean, never mind. I finished it in December, not January. I thought I read A Tale of Sorcery. I thought I finished it in early January, but I suppose not.
Suppose not.
Suppose not.
So, before I tell you how many books I read, I would just like to preface that most of them were manga. Before you get concerned. I would just like to preface that most of it was manga.
You can read quickly.
Yes.
I'm about to read The Promised Neverland, and I'm gonna get through those books in probably like a day or 2.
Yeah. And in my defense, the entire like first week of the month, all I was reading at the moment was manga. So as of right now, I've clocked in 13 books. 10 of those.
You're very different people.
It's okay. It's okay. That's the point of this club. We get to enjoy books regardless of how fast or slow we read. 10 of those were manga. And it's mostly My Hero Academia and My Hero Academia Vigilantes because it is my goal to finish both of those series by the end of the year. And then there was, you know who Corey Kenshin is, right?
Yeah.
So he's creating a manga series. And I also read volume 3 of that series this year. It's called Monsters We Make. It's a very good series. I would check it out. Very good. And then I also read Gyo by Junji Ito, which was fun. It was a very interesting read. It's basically about like this couple that goes on a vacation, and then all of a sudden they just start smelling this horrendous stench, and then fish start walking out of the ocean.
Oh.
Yeah. Fish, and not just fish too. They get chased by a land shark, and the fish just start like continuously creeping like closer and closer into like mainland Japan, and it's very interesting. I would definitely recommend. It was very interesting. And then I will collect because my little bookshelf is actually right next to me. So let me get all my stuff. Well, actually, hold on. Aside from Project Hail Mary, I am currently reading Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I plan to finish this by the end of today because I have a free night tonight, and I plan to finish this. But I love Holly Jackson. She wrote the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. If you haven't read, you should absolutely read it because it's amazing.
I really do want to read it. It's on my list.
But Not Quite Dead Yet is about the main character, Jet. She gets attacked in her home, like bashed over the head with a blunt object. And she manages to survive. But there's like a bone fragment somewhere in her brain where it's not supposed to. So she'll have an aneurysm in a week and die from that aneurysm in a week. So she resolves, like there's like a surgery she can take, but there's a very small chance that she'll survive. So she's like, well, I have a week left to live. Let's figure out who tried to kill me. And it's literally just her trying to solve her own murder while slowly leading up to an aneurysm that will cause her supposed death.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It is quite a good book. I'm a decent. If I can stop angling this the wrong way, I've gotten a decent way into it. I think I only have like 10 or 12 chapters left. So I definitely think I'll be able to finish it by the end of the day, and that would count 14 books read for January. And then let me put that over here. Hold on. And then I have started 2 other books, but they're like classics, so they're gonna take a while.
Yeah.
This is my semester. This is my goal. My goal is to read this by the end of the semester. Read this for the spring semester. So by like May, I would like to finish this. But it's Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And it's just about this poor child who is. It kind of reminds me of Cinderella almost in a way. I'm not very far into it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm gonna try. It's gonna take me. My goal is to finish it in like 5 months, so I'm not very far right now. But she's like mistreated by her she's an orphan that lives with her aunt, and they that family mistreats her. And she's got a very unique spirit, and that's why they don't like her. Because she's not at all like the general like most women at that time are, and they don't like that. And then apparently it's also a romance, because at some point she becomes a governess at this manor, and she falls in love with her employer. So says the back. So like it very much reminds me of Cinderella. Like already just the first couple of chapters, because that's all I've gotten through so far. It's very reminiscent of Cinderella, which I think is interesting. This was like a last minute choice. I wasn't expecting to start reading this for this semester. I wasn't expecting this because I knew I wanted to find a classic that I wanted to read throughout the entire semester, but I wasn't expecting it to be this one. So I'm surprised at how much it reminded me of Cinderella already.
I really wanted, at some point, I really want to read Picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh, yeah. And then the other classic-related thing I'm reading is this big fat book full of all the short stories and poems that Edgar Allan Poe ever wrote. She is a thickin'. She's like 1,000 pages. This is going to take me all year to read. This is going to be an all year.
Oh, that's okay.
This is going to be an all year read, but that's okay because it's split up. It does the poetry first. Also, the art is amazing. This is such a fancy book. It's so nice and lovely. Look at that. So pretty.
It reminds me of the book I have of all the Brothers Grimm fairy tales.
Oh, yeah.
I also need to start reading that.
But yeah, this is just one that I pick up every once in a while when I feel like just reading some poetry, and eventually some short stories when I eventually get to that. But yeah, this is one I just butt into a little bit every week. But it's going to last me a year anyways, so it's all right. And then on to the actual other books that I read this month. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Come out of the box. Okay. Come out of the box, please. Come out of the box, please. There we go. Aside from Project Hail Mary and Not Quite Dead Yet, we have Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis and The Mystery of the Blue Train by Agatha Christie. This one was more of just a personal read because I'm trying to read more classics or more like nonfiction books to expand my taste. And then this is just because I'm still in a gentleman sleuth mood. I've been in a gentleman sleuth mood for like 4 months. So I'm just in a constant mood. It doesn't help that the Knives Out franchise put out a new movie early, or at the end of at the end of December. All of a sudden, I have a new Gentleman Sleuth movie to enjoy because I love the Knives Out franchise, and I've been reading Agatha Christie for like 4 months. So I love Agatha Christie. She's amazing. This was a really fun read, as all of her books are. It's in the Hercule Poirot series, which just follows her silly little Belgian detective that I love. I adore him. He's such a silly goose. But Hercule Poirot is considered considered the best detective of his time. So, and all of the books in that series, they're technically in chronological order, but you don't have to read, because I think this is the 6th book in the series. You don't have to read the other 5 to be able to understand what's going on. They're basically a series of standalone mysteries that he solves. But I love Agatha Christie. I love the way she writes. I love the way she does mysteries. It's super fun. And Hercule Poirot is just fun. It's just a fun character in general. And then
I love that.
Mere Christianity was just a nice read. It was nice for my faith, and it was interesting. And I love the Chronicles of Narnia, so it was cool to see what else he can write, just because. And then let me collect what I want to read for February. Oh goodness, everything is falling. Okay. Everything is falling. All right. And I do this because I generally clock in like a book a week. This is my February TBR that I want.
I need to create my February TBR.
This is my suspected February TBR. The Mere Christianity came in like a little box set with 4 books. So I read Mere Christianity this month. I'm going to read The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis for February, because it's love related. Obviously it still deals with like Christianity, so it's like a different kind of love, but I felt like it still fit the bill, or fit the general theme. And then we got a bunch of romance books, because why not? We have Daisy Jones and the Six, which is
I wanted to read that.
Oh yeah, so you know what Daisy Jones and the Six is.
Yes, I do.
But it just looks fun. It looks like a nice read, and some friends of mine went to like a little bookshop. That was the little bookshop we went to. It was just full of romance and romantasy books. And I saw this, and it's been on my TBR, so I was like, sure, why not? This will be my introduction to Taylor Jenkins Reid. And then we have The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This one is about a wedding where everyone gets food poisoning except for 2 people, and they don't like each other. So for the sake of saving money, they just go on the honeymoon instead of the actual married couple, because again, everyone got food poisoning. So there are 2 people that don't like each other are forced to go on a honeymoon together, and romance and hijinks ensue. I also bought this at that bookshop, and I was like, sure, why not? Let's give it a shot. And then the last one is the latest book from, as of right now, my favorite romance author, Emily Henry, Great Big Beautiful Life. It's about 2 authors, I believe. Yes. 2 authors who don't like each other. I keep getting a lot of rivals to lovers here, but c'est la vie. It's about 2 writers who are asked to write a book about this rich woman's life. And whoever's story she likes the most will get posted. But she's giving them like pieces of the story, so they're not getting the full story each. So somehow romance hijinks also ensue. It's an interesting premise, and I love Emily Henry's writing, and I love her romance, and I love the men that she writes. So I'm very curious to see how this goes. So yeah, that's my February TBR.
Perhaps I will reveal my February TBR when we stream next.
Yes.
Because I've not had time to create one.
We also, I think we're on Friday, or not on Friday, on Thursday, we're going to go to Barnes & Noble and figure out what book we're going to read next. Because I had an idea of what I wanted to read, like buddy read with next. But from what I can, from all the sources I can gather, you can only buy it on the author's website, which I have no problem with. But given the given the fact that I don't want to wait for shipping, we're just going to go to Barnes & Noble and we're going to peruse the fantasy section and we're going to find something that I want to read. That's just how we going to do it. So we don't know what our February buddy read will be. We'll get that to you on Thursday because we don't know. Ooh, I might also buy some manga while we're there, just because I want to read some manga as well.
I'm going to be limiting my purchases to one book.
Well, I just got paid.
I have no room.
Yeah, I just got. Well, technically, I don't really have much room either because my only like actual bookshelf. I have like a small little shelf full of all my journals and stuff on my desk, but my only actual bookshelf is on my dresser, and that's gotten full pretty fast.
I'm pretty sure my mom and my bank account would kill me.
So I just got paid.
If I bought more than another book.
I just got paid. So I'm saying YOLO, but also I have no self-restraint when it comes to purchasing books. So, although I will say I do a really good job of reading all the books I buy.
I do not.
Yes, I know.
Well, I've also been gifted a lot of books.
The entire
in my room.
Yeah, the entire reason why I have such a like solid amount of books right now is because of like gifts and books that I didn't get to read last year. Just accumulated a little bit. But worst case scenario, I start using this other unused dresser as another bookshelf, and I just hide it if someone checks the room. Or I just bring all my books home spring break and then hope and pray that makes enough room for April and May and March.
I don't think they'll mind if you use the other dresser.
They're very specific. They're very specific. They don't like us using any part of the other half of the room if no one's in there. But we'll see. We'll see if I can get away with it. We'll see how it goes. But I'm only probably going to buy like one manga because I haven't read manga in like 3 weeks and I need something quickly. I need something quick and fun. So, but
that's where I'm at. I need more comics.
Yeah.
I reread my Killjoy comics. I like the True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys.
Oh yeah.
I read those comics probably like so many times.
Well, we gotta freaking wait for that one comic to come out, the Romeo and Juliet and Godzilla one.
I am so excited for that.
I cannot wait to see what that entails. I'm very excited. But that's it. Is that it? Anything else we want to say?
That's all I have. I'm about to leave, go pick up some things to make a craft project.
Nice.
Switch my phone over, hopefully.
Well,
go do all the things.
This was our January buddy read.
It was so good.
It was so good. And we swear we will do a better job of scheduling things in the upcoming months now that we know what our schedule looks like.
Yes.
Good Lord. We won't read pretty much the entire book in just 1 week. We promise we will do better.
It can be done. Doesn't mean you want it to be done like that.
Yeah. It can be done, but for the sake of our sanity, We would like to not do that again. Although I will say, pulling a 7-hour stream is insane.
It really is.
We're just built different. But
I'm just built on no sleep.
we're art students. This is what we do.
We really are.
Actually, you're an art and science combination major, so you get extra no sleep.
Yep, got that right.
So, but yeah, this was our January Buddy Read. Thank you for coming, and thank you for coming to our little meeting where we yap about our books.
Things will be more organized in the future, and next stream you will see my February TBR.
And you'll see her face. We haven't seen your face in 3 streams.
I've only been in technically 1 stream.
You've only been in 1 stream. That was the first one. So you haven't been in. They haven't seen your face in 4 streams.
Yes, and next time they see my face, hopefully my hair will all be cut.
Chop it off.
I'm chopping it off.
But yes, thank you all to, as of right now, are 2 people, one of which is Kaylee.
Yes, it is.
So thank you for coming. Bye-bye. Time to go reorganize my entire bookshelf. Because I made a mess. But yes, we will see you in February. Goodbye.